Hello guys, welcome back to Cassette Confessions. We're getting close to the end, we are. Just a few more to go on and that'll be it. The series will finish. Yes, and today we're looking at the last Rose and Jim VHS. I'm going to talk about the series. Last time I'm going to talk about Rose and Jim sort of entirely on here, really. And what way to finish off is to go back to the very beginning, back with Series 1 with John Cunliffe. This is Classic Collection Volume 1 from 2001. This is a very oddity itself. This is really an interesting find to have in your collection, actually. If you like Rose and Jim, this is actually pretty an interesting thing to own. I don't know where my parents got this from. It's really fascinating. It's a double VHS box set. It contains 9 episodes from, well, the very first 9 episodes from the very first series back in 1990. And yes, it just shows the, its progression, its origin, and very much, it's just, again, it's hard to describe a time when Rose and Jim had finished airing on TV a year before in 2000 with Neil Brewer. There were still a couple of VHS releases still come out after this, and stuff with Neil Brewer on. But this was more of an eye opener, really, because for the first time, very much. Well, I think was the main conception with this is just to look back, really. I don't know why isn't that it's a thing, really, because usually Rose and Jim at this point they're busy focusing on the current stuff, really, or then the sort of current stuff with Neil Brewer. It was kind of a surprise that they VCI released a DVD box, not DVD box set, double VHS box set with John Connor stories on. It's a bit of a strange one, really. I think the plan was to really just make a series of it's Classic Collection. It's the first volume, so they might just because they had these, of course. I mean, Carlton actually had the rights to release the John Cunliffe era at the time. I don't know how this sort of the rights thing came about, really, with this thing, really. They were with the Video Collection International in the beginning, of course. Then Carlton picked up the rights to distribute them in the mid-90s. Now here it's reverted back to them, back to VCI for some strange reason. So it's odd choice, really. But it's interesting. Design-wise, it's sort of like what you expect from the Neil Brewer era, very much at this time. Rose and Jim, that sort of standard pose, very much. The sort of, what do you call it, like a skipping all walking pose that they usually come on, but it's on a white background, with a sketch-drawn background. And on the back, you have like bits and pieces. You have a picture of John Cunliffe on the back, and you have the episodes included. So, I remember watching this once back in years ago, but it was the episode Cole. It was, and I just vaguely remember Cole. Really, I don't remember anything else about the other episodes, really, unfortunately. But Cole was one of them. I remember watching from this particular one. I remember owning this because remember, it's distinct out. It's white and it feels pristine white. It's double. It is just, yeah. So let's go through this. So, this is the only VCI release with John Cunliffe on it. They released stuff with Pat Hutchins at the time when they were basically transferring to VCI at the time. They had the artwork and stuff and video content, just changed the identity and very much like that. And of course with Neil Brewer, that went all the way through. So it's actually the first time, the only time to include very early stuff actually with released by VCI. So it's interesting, but it's also like, there should have been more actually. If you look at it, nine stories, should be 10 actually. Like have 10 each tape because you've got 5 on one side on the first tape, but you have 4 on the other one. There should be a 5th one on there. So have like 10 each. Would have been worth it actually. Maybe because of its selection or time or something, really. It just depends really with this one. So let's go through it. So the episodes. So first we've got is Locks, the very first episode. A couple of things about this one. It was actually repeated in 2013 due to the CITV's 30th anniversary. So they actually repeated Locks on there. I did watch it on ITV Player when it was released, because I actually missed it. I also missed it because I was busy doing stuff, really. At the time, I think it was at college, actually, so at the time. So I decided to actually go, maybe for a bit of whim, go and watch it, actually. I really enjoyed it, I did. So Locks is just basically you would do with canal locks and everything else, so it's decent. So it sort of introduces to anything else, of course, so it's pretty good. It's a decent one, it is. Then you got painting, of course. John trying to paint the boat because it was a bit scraped, actually, so he visited like a DIY type store, small one, very much, and started painting the boat, really. that sort of thing. If you expect John doing like a canvas painting or something like that, that's not the case with this one. It's just him painting the boat really. Then we've got Supermarket, which is actually the 4th episode. If you had the original VHS from 1990, it's actually the 4th one. It's actually on here this time. It's a bit strange, really, but it's a good one. Again, visiting, I think it's Sainsbury's actually. I think they said Sainsbury's somewhere, but it's like or something like this. Managed to film in there, really. Believe it or not, is it? Yeah, I think it is Sainsbury's. Believe it or not. Yeah, but it's a good one actually. Nice. I like interior shots of the supermarkets in first because it's very old-fashioned, a bit old-fashioned. Like you watch stuff in the 80s and stuff like Alvise and stuff like that. They do feature some good old-fashioned filming in supermarkets and stuff. Like it seems weird and see what they're selling and stuff like that. It's just sort of amused me a little bit. It does, which is good. Then we've got Tunnel is next. That's the 3rd one, but it's swapped around with Supermarket for some strange reason. Decent one actually. It's all right really. Just them entering a tunnel, facing the darkness and stuff like that. Then we've got Horse Town, which I actually sort of talked about on Falcons and Other Stories, believe it or not. That actually appeared on with the episode Falcons, really. So I've talked about it briefly, but I think even though I might have cocked it up actually. In case of horse towing, John's steering, the rod thing doesn't work. It's very stiff and it sort of breaks off, and he loses control of the boat. That lends off the side, so he finds a nearby stables and of course asks him to give him a hand, very much. And the basic repair is, he's steering stick or rod or whatever you call it, just on there. And yeah, it's a decent one, it is, not bad. And that finishes up the first tape. To go on to the second tape, we have glass. John just learning about what glass does actually, because his thing's passing through or something like that. And basically, learn about like glass made from originally from sand in a giant, what do you call it, like a Jim calls it a house, but his is like a very big, large chimney, of course, very massive chimney. Actually, if you look at the angles, camera angles that they used, you think it looks massive. That does, like Jesus Christ, like in terms of its scope and everything. So it's like really interesting. But it's a good one actually. It's decent. Then we've got boat building. John visits just sees people from learn about boats and stuff really, and they visit a small company that specialises in canal boats really, just builds them really, like the bases and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. Maybe a bit more quite interesting, a bit more educational for the canal front of things really, like saying with locks really. So that's pretty interesting. Then we got washing. That's another good one actually. I really enjoyed that one. John visits a laundrette and all stuff ensues. They get mixed up with Rose and Jim's washing. John starts going in a little bit of a panic really, because he finds one sock normal, the other sock is small, and you think, oh my god, it's shrunk. The water temperature's too high and stuff like that. But it's a really good one actually. It's on a rainy day as well, so yeah, pretty good one. Actually, I think that's one of my favourites actually of this VHS really, along with Supermarket is another good one. Yeah, and the last one, of course, is Coal, which is another favourite of mine. The one I mentioned beforehand, I saw one only on this VHS. That's the only memory of seeing this tape, actually. So, yeah, but it's a good one. They enter sort of like a coal mine very much, which I always assume it kind of looks familiar from outside my town. I live in Kendal actually, where John Cunliffe was around during that time for many years prior. I think what I do remember Postman Pat was in his infancy really. Outside there's a place called near Crook. I think there's a new place called near Crook, near a canal place actually, believe it or not. Like there's a canal runs through there actually, and on that outside there's a coal bit, like a coal mine just around there actually, or coal storage. I always assume did they film there actually or something like that, but I think they didn't really. They filmed like near Birmingham and stuff like that really, just around there. But I thought it'd be just a bit interesting, a little bit tidbit of information there really. And yeah, that's it. The last Rosie and Jim VHS to talk about, and it goes on a blaze of glory actually. So it's an oddity itself. You can find it on eBay. I think you can't get on Amazon because it's already unavailable. They got rid of it for some reason. I think they stopped selling it or something like that, or it's out of print. But it's on eBay if you can find a copy somewhere. Depends what the price is. They might be a bit high on this one, so it's a bit of a rarity, a bit of a rare thing to get hold of. But yes, it's really good. I really enjoyed this one. Because it's the early Rosie and Jim, John Cunliffe era, so it's pretty good. Yeah. Nothing else to say. Shame they didn't carry on with. Speaking of which, I actually forgot something. When they released the bumper pack DVD few years back, actually, I think 2016. Fun fact, if you look at the opening for Locks, the VCI pops on there, and that's because they use the master from this VHS onto that DVD, or for Locks really. I think for all of them actually, I think for most of them. Yeah, but for Locks especially, you press play, the VCI ident pops up just briefly, like for a second, and then it goes into the intro. So it's a bit strange actually, you know, that they actually include. They never really acknowledged that. So for once, for many years, VCI ident has actually appeared in the 2010s. You know, like an unofficial release, on a very official release that was actually fully released by Platinum Entertainment or something like that. Very strange. You know, a bit of blast from past when then you think, oh Jesus Christ, like some people in their 20s and 30s get jumped out of the skin because of it. You know, this player and this pops out just briefly and it's like, oh God. Then he goes to normal episodes. I find that very fascinating that they use the masters from this VHS onto that DVD. Very strange, but I think they couldn't really find any other sources else, so they just had to make do with them. Fair enough. That's it. Classic Collection Volume 1. No Volume 2, no anything else. They only use Volume 1, weirdly, strangely. They should have used Volume 1 and then Volume 3 just to piss people off. Yeah, that'd be funny, like Traveling Wilburys type stuff, but it's a shame. They never continue doing that anymore. Maybe because it's didn't sell well or something like that, or maybe mostly just popularity was a bit waning at the time, actually, because the TV show finished a year before, so we don't really know. But it's a fantastic VHS, and that really concludes that trilogy of, you know, the Rosie and Jim double packs, really, because you start with Splish Splosh, Quack and Duck Boogie, now Classic Collection Volume 1. So that sort of trilogy it rounds off that sort of bit, really. You know. And yeah. And we're getting close to the end now. I think there's only 3 left to do. Good grief. Yeah, so brace yourselves for them. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you for the next video, and see ya.